It's the end of an era. Danny Malin, the Barnsley-born everyman who turned Rate My Takeaway into one of YouTube's most beloved breakout channels, has announced he's stepping away. The man with the fold-out table, the cheeky grin, and the never-ending appetite has finally packed up his chair. And fans across the world are stunned. But why has Danny decided to leave the channel that made him a star? And what does the future look like for him after such a life-changing journey? We're breaking it all down right here. But before we dive in, make sure you hit subscribe now. We bring you daily deep dives into the biggest stories in YouTube, celebrity, and pop culture, and you won't want to miss what's next. All right, let's get into it. Danny Malin wasn't supposed to be famous. A former butcher from Barnsley, his life changed in 2020 when he launched a simple idea: travel around the country, set up a folding table and chair outside takeaways, and give honest, cheerful reviews of the food. The format was genius in its simplicity. No pretense, no gloss, no fake TV smiles. Just Danny, his big personality, and his love of grub. Audiences loved it. His humor, his warmth, his positivity, they made him feel like a mate you'd known for years. At a time when the world was stuck indoors during the pandemic, Danny gave people comfort, laughs, and a sense of normal life. The views exploded. Millions tuned in as he chomped on fish and chips, kebabs, burgers, and curries. In 2021, YouTube itself recognized his meteoric rise, awarding him the UK Breakthrough Creator of the Year. Danny had gone from local lad to global star. But behind the smiles and the catchphrases, life wasn't as easy as it looked. This week, Danny confirmed he's leaving Rate My Takeaway after what he called challenges behind the scenes that took a toll on his health. Fans were heartbroken. The thought of the channel without him is almost unimaginable. In a heartfelt statement, Danny said, "I've put my heart, soul, and entire life into building Rate My Takeaway. The fans have been amazing and stuck by me. I'll keep creating content, so I hope you'll all continue to join me for my journey." It was emotional, raw, and very Danny. The toughest part? His health. Danny revealed he suffered not one, but 2 strokes just 18 months ago. That terrifying reality, he said, put life into perspective. "My family and friends have been amazing," he explained. "I've been so scared to leave my role as presenter of the channel because it means so much to me, but now is the right time to re-establish myself as Danny. I'll be back on the road before we know it." Think about that for a moment. 2 strokes in less than 2 years, and yet he was still pushing himself to travel, film, eat, and entertain millions. It's no wonder he needed to step back. And while the channel may have been his claim to fame, Danny has never been just about YouTube. He's also a writer, penning a weekly column for the Yorkshire Evening Post. He runs the Rate My Takeaway kitchen in Huddersfield, a bustling food hall inspired by his adventures. And alongside his wife, Sophie Mei Lan, he's built another YouTube channel where the two share their lives and stories together. Danny's future is far from empty. He's not disappearing, he's evolving. But let's not downplay what this moment means. Rate My Takeaway wasn't just a channel, it was a cultural phenomenon. Danny's fold-out table became iconic. His banter with takeaway staff, his delight at every bite, his positivity in the face of chaos, it was authentic, and that's why people kept coming back. The channel provided joy when the world desperately needed it. It gave small local businesses a spotlight when they were struggling most. And it gave Danny a platform that made him one of the most recognizable YouTubers in the UK. Walking away from that takes guts. But in many ways, Danny's decision is a reminder of what made him special in the first place. He's real. He's not a polished TV product. He's not a machine chasing numbers at the expense of his well-being. He's a bloke from Barnsley who knows when it's time to say, enough. And fans? They're rallying behind him. The comments on his announcement have been flooded with messages of support. People thanking him for the laughs, for the positivity, for the countless times he brightened up their day. For many, Danny wasn't just reviewing takeaways. He was keeping people company during the loneliest times of their lives. And that kind of connection doesn't disappear when the channel changes. So where does this leave Rate My Takeaway? The channel may continue without him, but can it really survive without Danny at the helm? He wasn't just the face of the show, he was the heart of it. Without him, it's hard to imagine the same magic. But maybe that's not the point. Because Danny isn't gone. He's just moving on. He's already promised he'll be back on the road, back creating, back connecting, just not under the same pressures, not under the same brand, and not at the expense of his health. In a way, this is the next chapter of the Danny Malin story. And if history tells us anything, it's that he'll make it just as entertaining as the last. Because whether it's in Huddersfield, Barnsley, or a random kebab shop in the middle of nowhere, Danny Malin will always have a table to set up, a chair to sit in, and a story to tell. The Rate My Takeaway era may be over, but the Danny era? That's just getting started. So what do you think? Can the channel survive without him? Or is Danny right to step away and focus on his health and family? Either way, one thing is certain. The man who made us laugh, smile, and crave late-night takeaways isn't done yet. Not by a long shot. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the story behind Danny Malin's emotional exit, make sure you hit subscribe right now. We bring you the latest in celebrity news, YouTube drama, and the stories everyone's talking about. Because this isn't the last you've heard of Danny Malin. Not even close.